I'm in Toronto, so not too far away.
Oh, nice. All right. So welcome everybody to this month's deep dive on getting paid and tracking financials in Practice Better. I'm Shelley Myers, Business Success Coach, and I'm joined by Sam Nicholson, Customer Success Manager here at Practice Better. So today Sam is going to be doing the demo, and I'm going to help answer your questions in the Q&A box. So we always get feedback during these webinars that you get a little bit overwhelmed with all the chats going on, and we really want you to focus in on what we're showing. There's a lot to see on the screen, all the buttons, all the things that Sam is demoing. So I will open the Q&A box and we will answer questions in there. But if you just want to focus on the webinar, you do not need to open the Q&A box. I know some people on the last webinar said there was a lot going on in there too, but you can just don't open it, just focus. If you do have questions, pop them in there. We never get to all the questions. There's always so many great questions that come in, but you can always send those in to Practice Better support. They're always happy to answer those. So Sam and I absolutely love doing these deep dives with you, and we're so excited to dive into getting paid and tracking financials in Practice Better. I think I already went through the replay. One other thing, just in case you have to get off early, I am going to, sorry, I'm reading one of the chats. I am going to put a link to our event survey. We really appreciate any feedback. We're always going to try to make improvements to these webinars. So if you can fill that out at the end, we would really appreciate that. So let me switch slides. All right, so let's get started. Whether you're a brand new practitioner or you're just out of your training program, or if you're a seasoned practitioner already helping hundreds or even thousands of clients, or even a practitioner who is currently pivoting from insurance-based billing to a purely cash-based practice, you will need an easy and secure way for your clients to pay you for your programs and services. But how can you let clients pay in a seamless way with flexible payment options, easily track your clients' payments, and report on your financials all in the same platform that you're using for scheduling and managing your practice? So during this webinar, we're going to take a deep dive into all the ways that you can get paid for your programs and services in a flexible and secure way, and all in Practice Better. So we're going to go over how to connect Stripe or Square in your settings, how to easily create, send, record, or process client invoices, how to set taxes, create coupon codes, generate a Superbill if that's something that you offer, and how to set up, how to provide flexible payment options for your clients. And also then, where do you track and report on your financials? And there'll be even more than that. So all right, so let's dive into our first topic. Before I switch it over to Sam, I just want to introduce the topic. So Practice Better offers you flexibility with 2 payment processor options. You can select either Stripe or Square to connect to Practice Better. So you'll choose one, you'll create your account, and then you can easily connect it to Practice Better to process your clients' payments. So although there are fees for processing payments in Stripe or through Stripe or Square, Practice Better does not charge any additional fees on top of those. So it's your choice which processor will work best for your business, and we would certainly recommend researching both to make the best decision for you. So Practice Better does offer a lot of flexibility and personalization with our invoices, payment plans, ongoing payment settings. There's no cookie cutter approach to charging your clients, and all payment options are determined by you and can be updated at any time. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to turn it over to Sam to show you where you can locate and customize the settings in your platform. So we're going to turn off our video cameras. We're going to turn those off. And Sam, you're going to share your screen.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and do that now. And you should be able to see my screen in a moment. Can you see it now, Shelley?
And I'm going to open the Q&A as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for joining today, everyone. So we're just going to start with some of the basics for those of you who are a bit newer and maybe have not had a chance to dive into this too much. This should be helpful for you. So the first thing is, as Shelley mentioned, in order to get started with billing and invoicing by processing credit card payments directly on the platform, you will need to link a Square or Stripe account. So this will allow you to collect deposits, payment to booking, or use payment plans. If you have not done so already, you can sign up for either platform directly on their websites. Once you have an account with either platform, all you would need to do is select the gear icon here at the top of Practice Better. And when this opens up, you're going to select third-party integration. Here, you will find where the platforms you integrate with are housed. And to connect Square or Stripe, you will just scroll down to the billing and payments area here. From here, you would just need to select link beside whichever platform you'll be using. And when you do so, you'll be prompted to enter your account details. Once linked, you'll be able to process payments on our platform. So now that you have what you need in place to process the payments, let's talk about configuring your invoice and payment settings so that they can be automatically applied to all invoices created moving forwards. To access this section, we will just scroll back up to the top and we'll click on the gear icon again. And when this expands, this time we're going to select the Invoices and Payments tab. So here you'll have some invoicing options. And the first is that you can select your default tax rate under the Currency and Taxes section here. So I'm going to go ahead and add the Ontario tax rate, HST, with a tax rate of 13%. However, you can set this rate to whatever amount that is applicable to your practice or location. Default tax rates will be applied to all your invoice line items unless it is overridden by a specific setting in your services, packages, or programs. They can also be overridden manually when you're creating your invoices as well. So now that we've set our default tax rate, we'll scroll down a little bit to the Invoice Settings tab here. So you have a few options, the first of which is that you can add a default header and footer, which will auto-generate on all created invoices moving forwards. You'll see that I have already added one here. The default header will be used for your company name, address, and contact information, which appears in the header of each invoice. The default footer will be used for any additional details you wish, as they would appear in the footer of your paper-based invoices. If you are not using Practice Better to process payments, you can include, so that would mean like not using Stripe or Square to process payments, you can include instructions for your clients on how to complete payment for their invoices. Lastly, the PDF signature option here will allow you to add a signature to the bottom of newly created invoice PDFs. You will first need to add a signature to Practice Better by going to Settings and Preferences and Forms and Signatures. Lastly, for those of you on the team plan, there is an option for Manage Billing at the bottom. Manage Billing ensures all payments made by clients are processed using the team owner's Stripe or Square account, whereas Unmanaged Billing allows each team member to link their own individual Stripe or Square account to process payments directly to themselves. So now that we're finished configuring our settings, we can go ahead and select Save Changes at the top. So another thing that you might want to set up in advance to streamline your invoicing is coupons. Coupons allow your clients to pay for your services, packages, and programs using either % off or amount off coupons. You can configure expiration dates, maximum redemptions, and limit discounts to specific products and services. So to access this, we'll just scroll to My Practice at the top. And when this opens up, we'll click on Billing and Payments. From here, we would just need to select the coupons tab, which is right here at the top. And when this opens up, all I need to do is go ahead and select the fast action icon in the bottom right-hand corner to create a coupon. And once I do so, I'll have the option here to enter a coupon code for my clients to redeem. So I'll use a simple one. I'll just do health 25. And because this is meant to take 25% off, I'm going to leave the discount type as percentage. If you did want to have this be an actual amount off, such as like $100 or $200, you could select the fixed amount option. So I'll do percentage, and under the amount for percent off, I'm going to do 25. Below, you can also add an expiry date, and if you would like, a total number of redemptions. But as I want this to be used indefinitely into the future with no limits, I will leave these blank. We are going to be working with a specific package throughout this deep dive, which is my 6-month package. Because I only want clients to use the coupon for that specific package, in the drop-down menu here, I'm just going to select my 6-month package. So now, once I do so, the coupon is set up to take 25% off when clients book if they use the coupon code specifically for my 6-month package. And now that I'm finished, all I need to do is go ahead and select save. And you'll see my coupon has now been added here. So coupons can be redeemed on your booking pages and your widgets. On the payment options page, clients will see a prompt to enter the code, and the amount will be deducted automatically if they apply it. Please note that coupon discounts can only be applied when clients select the pay in full option when they're purchasing with you, and it will not appear when selecting a payment plan, just pay in full. So yeah, once you have your coupons in place, they really allow you to kind of like streamline the process of applying discounts for clients without you needing to do so manually. So I'll send it back to you now, Shelley.
Thanks, Sam. Awesome. All right. So Practice Better offers so much flexibility and automation for getting paid for your programs and services. I remember back when I was a health coach and before I had Practice Better, I was sending invoices directly from Square and tracking all of my financials manually in my spreadsheet. So I didn't have a way to require payment upfront for my services and packages, nor did I have a way to offer automated payment plans or ongoing monthly payments. I didn't even know that was possible. So I really, at the time, didn't know what I was missing out on. So once I was set up on Practice Better, I actually restructured all of my pricing and payment options, and I charged mainly upfront for my programs and services, although in some situations I did send invoices for payment, but more often than not, my clients paid in full or they paid a deposit if I had a payment plan, like right up front. So I didn't have to track down the payments. My clients loved the ease of the online payments and the ability to refer back to their invoices and payment history right in Practice Better. Their bookings, notes, protocols, journals, and all of their payment information was all in one place, one app. I didn't need to chase down payments any longer or manually add them to my spreadsheet. It was just a huge time saver. So let's dive in and take a look at all the variety of ways that you can get paid for your services, packages, programs, and other offerings all through Practice Better. So Sam, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Shelley. So let's start with the simplest option, which is just going ahead and manually creating an invoice for a client. To do so, you'll navigate to, so we're already in the billing and payments section, but normally you would go to My Practice and Billing and Payments. And when you click on that, it will default you to the Invoices section automatically. From here, you would just need to select the fast action icon in the bottom right-hand corner. And when this expands, we'll go ahead and select Create Invoice. When you do so, you'll go ahead and select the client that you're creating the invoice for. So in this case, I'm going to use my client Addie here. And one thing to note with this invoice creation method is this is only one method of doing this. You can also create invoices directly from a client's record when you're in their actual client view. Or you can also create an invoice directly from a booked session as well. So this is just one of the more common ways because you can just go directly to your overall billing and payment section. But there are multiple ways. I'm sure those of you who've been doing this already have your own kind of like method as to how you normally create invoices. So in the create invoice window, you can add a header and you'll see this header here. This was what was populated automatically from my invoice and payment setting that we were in earlier. So I did not need to add that manually. You can here as well also adjust the invoice number as well as the invoice date. So it will default, our system will automatically create an invoice number for you, and it will default to today's date. But you can, of course, change that when you're creating the invoice itself. So if we scroll down a little bit further underneath item description, here's where you can select what you will be billing the client for. So if this exists as a service, package, program, or supplement in Practice Better, the price will be pulled in automatically. You also have the ability to manually add line items and bill your clients for whatever you'd like. So for example, let's bill the client for my 6-month package. So if I start typing this, it will appear in the drop-down menu here, and all I'll have to do is go ahead and select it. And you'll see when I clicked it, it pulled in the price of $1,000, which is attached to my package automatically. So in this section, I can also change the currency type by selecting the button to the right here. So for those of you who bill clients internationally, I can also choose to add a specific discount for this client or add a default tax rate that might be different, or sorry, a custom tax rate that might be different than my default one of 13%. So once I've made any changes to this line item, all I need to do is go ahead and select done. So you'll notice here at the bottom, this tax rate, the HST 13%, this pulled in automatically from the default tax rate that we set up in the last section. So that way, once you have it configured, it will just apply to the invoice automatically. But like we mentioned, you can choose on a case-by-case basis to edit this and change the amount, or just remove it entirely depending on if they don't need the tax applied in this case. So from here, what another option I'd like to show you that not a lot of people are aware of is if we scroll down to the bottom, there is this option I can enable to allow client to make partial payments. So if I enable this, and I want to give the client the option to pay this off their leisure, I can set an amount here. So for example, I'm going to change this from a percentage to a flat amount, and I'm going to put the flat amount as $250. So that means when the client goes to pay the invoice, they'll have the option to pay this as $250 or pay off the entire amount of their invoice if they would like. So now that I'm finished creating the invoice, you'll notice back here at the top, there are a few options here. So the first one that you can select is save. And if you do so, that means this invoice will be saved to my billing and payment section where I can come back and make adjustments if required. If I select send, then if I select send, that will send the invoice to the client via an email notification and through their client portal for them to pay when they are ready. If I select process, this will automatically charge their card on file. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and select save. So if we go ahead and select the back button now, this will take us back to the main invoice view. So right here is the invoice that we just created together. And I would just want to show you here that there are a few more invoice settings you can access from this section. So if, for example, I select the 3 dots icon beside one of my invoices, I have an option to view the invoice as a PDF, which will allow me to print it or save it to my computer if I want to email this to the client or anyone else that needs it. If you ever come across a situation where a client requires a refund, you can also just press this refund button here, and that will process the refund directly on the platform through Square or Stripe. So that's kind of covers like the main portions of just directly invoicing your clients for one-off things. But another thing we'd like to discuss today is that once you have Square or Stripe linked, you can also add payment plans as an option for clients to select when they book, or create a custom one on their behalf. So let's go ahead and start with the option, with giving the clients the option to select a payment plan themselves. So in order to set this up, we'll navigate to My Practice at the top. And when this expands, we'll click on My Services.
Hey, Sam, sorry
Yep.
to jump in here. I was answering questions in the Q&A, so I'm not sure. Did you go over how to record a payment, or is that coming up?
No, I can show that right now. Actually, now would be
Oh,
a good
okay.
time to show that. So
Yeah.
this, going back to the invoice that we created earlier. So this was the amount that I billed them, 1,000 plus my my tax rate of $130. If so, for those of you who ever do accept payments, let's say by cash or by check or really any other way outside of them paying via credit card through Square Stripe, you do have the option to record those payments in our system. So this way I could still send the invoice to the client. They'll receive it. They can pay you outside of Practice Better, such as through PayPal. And then once you receive that payment, you can click on this Payments History tab here at the top. When you click on this, this does allow you to record a payment. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And so let's say the client paid off this full amount of this package in cash. I can just enter the total amount here. I can put in the date that they sent me the payment. So let's say it was today, for example. And underneath the notes, I can leave any additional notes for myself. So I can just put paid by cash in the office or whatever you'd like. This is just for your own reference. And then now once I press add, this will show it that the client, whenever I open this invoice or check it, it will show that the client has made the payment. So now if I go ahead and select save and go back to the main invoice view, it will now show that this invoice has been paid because I recorded the full amount that had been paid. You can also record partial payments if you want. So that option I mentioned earlier where the client pays $250, but if they paid that via cash, you could come in here and record that they paid $250 off the invoice to help track it. Does that kind of help answer the question, Shelley?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you so much.
No problem. Awesome. So back to the payment plan. So we're just going to go ahead and navigate to My Practice at the top, and we'll go to My Services. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working with my 6-month package throughout this webinar. So that's my package that I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and select Edit beside it to change the settings. So as I mentioned earlier, this package costs $1,000. It's a flat fee of $1,000. And when my client purchases it, they gain access to 10 follow-up consultations with me. And as they book those follow-up consultations, the amount will deduct automatically. So right now, I only have the option to pay in full for this package. But if I did want to give the option if I did want to give my clients the option to select a payment plan, all I would need to do is click on the Advanced Options tab here at the top. And when this opens up, I can just scroll down a little bit and go to the Payment Plan section here. So I'll go ahead and from here, select Add Plan. And when I do so, the Add Payment Plan window will open. So with our payment plans, you can opt to collect a deposit. So please note that this option is only available when a client enrolls themselves into a payment plan and not when you manually create a payment plan on their behalf, which we're going to cover shortly. So let's enable the option for my clients to pay a deposit, and I'm just going to set it as $100. Next, I'm going to scroll down and just select this option here, the Allow My Clients to Pay in Installments option. Once this is turned on, I can choose how much the installments are going to be, the amount. So mine's just going to be simple. It's going to be $100 on a monthly basis. So I'll go ahead and select $100 here. And when I scroll down, this option here, schedule installments to start after, this determines when the actual payment plan will begin. So because I'm creating a simple monthly payment plan, I'm going to have the first installment be processed after the deposit exactly 1 month from that time. And below, I am just going to leave this to repeat as once a month. So this will repeat monthly, once a month until the amount is collected. So using these options, you can essentially set up whatever payment plan structure you want, whether it's bi-weekly, once every few months, or once every few days. So now that I'm finished, all I need to do is go ahead and select save. So to note, on each scheduled date of the payment plan, they will be charged using the credit card on file, and the paid invoice will be added to the record. If the card that is being charged fails, then an email with the unpaid invoice is sent to the client to pay manually. So one thing I always recommend to do when you're creating a payment plan is to preview the payments to ensure that the installment schedule is how you would like it to be. So I'll go ahead and select that now. So when I click on this, the installments will always be calculated based on the date the client enrolled in the service, package, or program. So today is May 25th, so the deposit would be collected today, and then they'll be billed on a monthly basis on the 25th of every month moving forwards. So that all looks correct to me. So I'll just go ahead now and press close. And with the payment plan setup that we just did, oh, sorry, pardon me. So this payment plan that we just created was for the fixed fee option of $1,000. Like I mentioned, that's just a total fee of $1,000. However, you can use this payment plan feature to create indefinite client memberships as well, where the client will be billed continually until the payment plan is canceled. So this option is configured here underneath the pricing model. I would just select the ongoing payments option. While the payment plan setup would be similar to the one we just created, please note that you cannot have an ongoing payment and a fixed payment on the same service, package, or program. You would need to set up a new one if you want to offer the indefinite client membership. So now I'll go ahead and just click out of here. And when a client goes to purchase this package, they will have the option to select either pay in full or select the payment plan that we just created together for whatever option best suits them. So I'll go ahead and select Save Changes to apply the changes to my package. So this payment plan option was the one that we just created, was so that clients can select the payment plan themselves when they're booking the package or the service of the program with you. But for those of you unaware, we also do have an option where you can create custom payment plans for clients at any time. So this can be useful if a client wants a different installment or payment schedule, such as the first of every month, or if you are billing them for something outside of one of your services, packages, or programs. So we're going to go ahead and set one up together using the ongoing payment option I just outlined. To set that up, all we need to do is navigate to a client's file. So I'll go ahead and click on My Clients at the top, and I'm going to select my client, Mary Smith, here. When her client record opens up, I'll go ahead and select her Billing and Payments tab on the left-hand side. And once I do so, I'll click the Payment Plans tab here at the top. Now to create the payment plan itself, I can just go ahead and select Create Plan here. And I'll just select myself as the team member. And I do have the option to create payment plans for services, packages, or programs, which will give you the option to pull in and pull in and edit any of those existing payment plans. However, we're just going to create one from scratch together because there might be cases where you do want to do that. So in this window, I'm just going to go ahead and name this this payment plan Mary Smith, and then name it Custom Payment Plan. So under how would I like to process payments, I'm going to choose Send Invoices to Client for Payment. If I do not have a credit card on file, or if I would like my client to pay at their convenience. An invoice will be created automatically on the date and automatically sent to my client for them to pay. The other methods that we have here, which are Charge Card on File and Charge Card if available, will attempt to process the payment using the credit card stored on file for my client. If no card is currently available, you will see the option to add a card below this list of options. So I'll go ahead and leave this, like I mentioned, as Send Invoices to Client for Payment. And there is also the option here to link this payment plan to a session, package, or program if you like. However, as I'm creating this independently of those options, I'm just going to leave this selected as no. So if we scroll down a little bit further, underneath the Installment Payments tab, you have a few different options. So we can collect installments for an existing balance, which will be the same as the payment plan that we just set up for my package, where the installments are deducting from a total fee. The collect fixed installment options here is used for a fixed number of recurring payments. The one that we're going to select this time is collect ongoing installments, which is the option I mentioned earlier. It is used for collecting ongoing recurring payments, such as monthly subscriptions. So under the installment payment amount, I'm going to go ahead and put $50. And you'll see that again, my tax rate was populated from my default settings, but this time I'm just going to go ahead and remove my tax rate. And the last section here where we scroll down to is the installment schedule. So here is where I can set when the installments will be processed or sent to the client to pay. So I'm going to leave this on a monthly schedule, but I'm going to go ahead and select this to begin on June 1st, right here. And I have it set right now so that this repeats by every day of the month. So every month on the 1st, the client will be charged this $50. All we need to do now is, if you'd like, you can select an end date for the payment plan. But if it's just going indefinitely, like the way I'm creating it now, I can just go ahead and select preview payments at the top. And when I click on this, again, it will just show me my installment schedule. And you'll see that my client will now be billed on the 1st of every month for the amount of $50. So the last step is, now that I'm finished, all I need to do is go ahead and select create to finish my setup. Once the plan is created, I can also opt to send the client a notification that the plan is set up with the details of the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by leaving send confirmation here enabled, and go ahead and select schedule. So once done, I will be taken to the payment plan details window. So this is available for any client who is enrolled in a payment plan, whether it be one they enrolled in themselves or in a custom one like we just created. So here I can pause payments, skip installments, or record a payment, among other options. And that concludes that portion. So I'll send it back to you now, Shelley.
Yes, Sam. Great. So there's a few questions. Can't get to all the questions right now, but I just want to jump in with a few here. So what is the difference between a fee and just the fee that you put in and the displayed fee?
Oh, gotcha. So like when you're for your services, packages, or programs, you mean?
Yeah. Like, can you show me?
Sure. So that would be under the fee section here. So if you have the, oh, actually, pardon me, that must be under advanced options. Yeah. So if you just leave the fee, it's just going to show that the fee is $100. If you update the displayed fee, this allows you to add more, more in addition to that. So if you want them to, like we have here, for example, where it says limited time offer, so that way they can be aware of like what the pardon me, like any additional,
like an early bird pricing or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no credit card saved in the client's file, does Practice Better send them an invoice for payment if they have a payment plan? So I first want to just say that in order to, if you're requiring payment up front, so let's say you have your package linked to your website, or somehow a prospect or client ends up on the purchase package page and you require payment up front, whether it's pay in full or the payment plan, they would be required to enter their credit card information in order to get started on that payment plan. So they really couldn't start a payment plan without having their credit card on file in Practice Better. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Last question for now. When a client books themselves, then it's automatic. Then are they automatically charged? If we make an invoice ourselves, that doesn't happen. Is that correct? Can you just show on the other screen under service information where, no, right there. Yeah. So under the display fee, can you just click on that drop down, Sam, under the booking page? So this is, yeah. So they would be if you have required to pay at booking, they would be required to pay if they book themselves. If you have suggest to pay at booking, they can pay now or pay later. If you just have if you just have hide fee, display fee, or suggest to pay at booking, and they want to pay later, you would then send them an invoice for that. So it doesn't just happen automatically.
Very cool.
All right, so let's just move on. And thank you, Sam. That was really great. So Practice Better offers easy to use and intuitive features to view, track, and report on payments from your clients. So whether you're searching for a partially paid invoice for a specific client so that you can follow up with them, or you're searching for an unpaid invoice or unpaid invoices from any clients, or maybe you're interested in seeing a report of all payments made within a given period of time, we've got you covered. So with Practice Better, you can easily filter through or report on all of your financials, or even export them if you utilize an external accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero. So we make it easy to just export that into a CSV file. So let's turn it back to Sam and take a look at how you can look at your financials.
Thanks so much, Shelley. So as you outlined, there's lots of options in our platform for keeping track of your financials. So we're just going to go ahead and start with the simplest. So if you ever just want to quickly check in on your invoices and see the amount due and amount paid, you can navigate to My Practice at the top, and we're going to go back to the billing and payment section that we've been spending some time in this webinar. So here, I'll be able to see all invoices that have been sent to all of my clients, as well as their payment status, such as paid or the amount due. So here at the top, if you select the filter button, you will see some more options available to you. On the team plan, you can filter by team member to check all of the invoices that have been assigned to one team member. Underneath filter by invoice status, you can check which invoices have been unpaid, partially paid, or paid. You can also filter by invoice date as well. So let's go ahead and select the unpaid filter here, and then press the filter button. And this will now show me all the outstanding payments that I currently have for clients. From here, I have a few options if I want to try and collect any outstanding payments. If the client has a credit card on file, I can simply press the process button here beside the invoice and charge their card on file. I do also have the option to click the three dots icon beside the invoice and click on Send Reminder. So I'll go ahead and click that now. And when I do so, they will receive an email notification with a reminder to pay the invoice. With our invoicing, you also have the option, as Shelley mentioned, to export them into a file, which you can then open in an accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero. So to do so, all you need to do is in this section, you'll click on the export button in the top right-hand corner. Here in the export invoices window, you'll have some options to you. So you can select a date range that you would like to see your invoices for. So I can go back a little while and do my invoices from, let's say, May of last year to present. You can also, when you're doing your export, enable this option to export each line item on a separate row. By default, your export will contain one row per invoice, which includes details on the first line item only. If this option here is enabled, we'll include a separate row for each line item for invoices that do have multiple line items. If we scroll down a little bit here, below you can select which clients you would like to include in the report. If you would like to do this for all of your clients, you can just leave this box unchecked. If you do want to select specific clients or specific tags, you can come in here and select them off manually. Lastly, once you're satisfied with the clients you'd like to do the export for, as well as your date range, all you would need to do is go ahead and select the export button here at the top. Once you do that, a spreadsheet file will be generated automatically, and you can, like we mentioned, you can open that file in whatever accounting software you would like. So these are kind of the more quicker options for just checking in on your invoicing and payments. But in addition to these options, we also do have a few dedicated reports within Practice Better that can help you with this. So to access this, we would just need to navigate to My Practice at the top. And when this expands, we're going to click on reports. So we have a few reports relating specifically to invoicing and payments, which are under the billing column here. These include the payment history report, which is the one we'll start with, where you can view all payments made within a given period. So let's go ahead and review that now by clicking on it. So this report will show you all of the payments that you have collected over a specific time period. If you include information like the amount paid, the client's name, and the invoice number. On the left-hand side, there are also filters which include the ability to filter by time period, tag, and currency type. So let's go ahead and under filter by period, select this month, and then select filter. The report will update to only include your invoices and payments for this month. So you can review it here. And as I mentioned, if you scroll down, it will give you a list of all of the clients who have invoices, as well as the amounts and how they paid them, and their invoice numbers on the right-hand side here. So this is a pretty handy report for kind of keeping track of your payments on an ongoing basis or by a specific time period. So now that I'm done with this report, I can just go ahead and press the X button to close it. Another helpful report is the transaction statement report, which is this one here. Here, you can view a list of payments, refunds, and write-offs within a given period. So again, let's filter this by this month and select filter. On the left-hand side, similar to the other one, you can also filter by practitioner if you're on the team plan, by tag if you have clients, if you want to see this for clients with a specific client tag applied, such as like one's maybe my 6-month package, for example, and again by currency type for those of you who bill internationally. So this report now includes all of my invoice information for this month, and you can see here when scrolling through, it will include the invoice number, transaction type, and the amount collected here. So this time, rather than clicking the X button at the top, I'm going to just click on all reports and go back to the main report view. And the last report that's more dedicated towards billing would be the sales tax report. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So this allows you to view a breakdown of taxes collected on invoices within a given period. So again, I'm going to filter this by this month and select filter. And the tax summary tab will show a quick overview of tax amount collected for a specific time period. And if you select the tax breakdown tab, this will give you a much more detailed overview of all of the tax that you collected over a specific time period. So you'll see a breakdown of it, including the invoice number, the amount collected, and the amount that was charged via tax. So you'll notice that because earlier I did not close the transaction statement report, it remained open as a tab here. So this allows me to quickly cycle between my reports if I want to have them open at the same time and compare information from them. So you can definitely use these financial reports to really dive into your revenue and learn how you're kind of working in terms of money on an ongoing basis. And I'll send it back to you now, Shelley.
All right, thanks, Sam. So as health and wellness practitioners, some of you may work with insurance to cover some or all of your clients' fees. Practice Better makes it easy to set your insurance profile, such as your NPI number, frequently used procedure, and ICD-9 or 10 codes for your practice, place of service, and your insurance payers. Once this information is set, then you can easily generate Superbills for your clients to submit for reimbursement or export CMS 1500 forms to submit to insurance via Office Ally. So let's run through how to find your settings and get set up to create your insurance forms. So I'll hand it over to you, Sam.
Thanks, Shelley. So the last section of our deep dive, like you mentioned, is we're going to go over the option to create insurance forms on our platform for those of you who do submit insurance forms or have your clients submit them. So if you would like your clients to submit insurance forms on their own, you can create Superbills, which can be sent to them directly to submit to their insurance companies. If you submit insurance on their behalf, you can create a CMS 1500 form and submit it outside of Practice Better using a platform such as Office Ally. So if you plan on generating either a Superbill or a CMS 1500 form, you will likely want to set up your insurance billing profile first. To access this, you would just select the gear icon here at the top of Practice Better. And when this opens up, you will click on All Settings and Preferences. From here, you would just need to select the insurance billing one. So that's right here in the middle here. So when this opens up, this gives you the option to configure your insurance billing profile. So the company profile section here allows you to set your default tax ID, an optional organizational NPI number. You can provide either your social security number if you are a solo practitioner, or a business EIN number if you operate as part of an organization. For CMS 1500 forms, your carrier details will need to be included with each submission. So you can add frequently used carriers here by clicking the add another option. So you'll see I have a test one right here. So that way, if you are frequently submitting to the same insurance payers, this will allow you to just quickly add them to the system and then have them generate automatically on your CMS forms. So from here, you can also choose to add your own individual NPI number. Pardon me. Sorry, you can choose to add your NPI number and your taxonomy codes here as well. So once you've come in here and have configured your kind of core settings of your insurance billing profile, all you need to do is go at the top, select Save Changes. And once you have configured these, this should allow you to stream your insurance billing moving forwards, because this information will generate on your insurance forms in the platform. So to actually create a Superbill or CMS form, you just need to navigate to My Practice and Billing and Payments again. Like invoices, these can also be created directly from your client's records as well. So if you want to open up your client record and create the Superbill or CMS form in there, you can. So here you would just select the CMS 1500 tab to view or create your CMS 1500 forms. And for your Superbills, you would just select the Superbill tab. And here you can choose to create them. So for an example, to create a Superbill, all we need to do is press the red plus button in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you're on the team plan, you can select which team member the Superbill is for. And then you can select which client you will be doing the Superbill for. So in this case, I'll select my client, Mary Smith. So when I do so, a list of their bookings will appear, either previous ones or upcoming ones. You'll see that my Mary has a lot of them. So all I would need to do is select the session that I'm creating the Superbill for. So I'll go ahead and click that now. And then I would just select Create. So in the Create Superbill window, the provider information will populate from your insurance billing profile if you have created it, like we just did. So this information here, like my social security number and the organizational NPI number, that was pulled automatically from my insurance billing profile. And if we scroll down below, this information here, this is my client Mary, this all pulled from her client record automatically. And you do have the option to add clients' insurance information directly to their records. So if they do have that on file, that will also generate here automatically as well. So going through here, you can choose to add any additional information that you'd like. So here, for example, if I need to add like a place of service or any additional procedure codes or ICD codes, I can add them here. And then once I'm done with my Superbill, all I'll need to do is select Save at the top. And then I can choose to either save and exit, or if it's good to go, I can press Save and Send so the client can be sent the Superbill and can now have it to submit it to their insurance company. And that kind of covers the core features of the insurance billing. So I'll send it back to you now, Shelley.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. And I know that we have a lot of questions about Superbills and the CMS 1500s. I think we're going to plan on doing a deep dive in the near future about just all about insurance and Superbills and that, but we won't have time today to get into all of that. So if we weren't able to answer your question, please, I'm going to actually put a link. Let's see, you can either through your portal or you can go to our help center and submit a question to PB support. let me put this in the chat. I know we just had a ton of questions that came in on the insurance billing. So thank you, Sam, for this demo. This was really, I know this is a lot of information. You guys can go back and watch the replay. But we just want to ensure that you know how to send invoices, you know how to set up payment plans, you know how to create a super bill. So we enjoyed our time together, and we hope that you have a deeper understanding of how you can use all these features. Our goal at Practice Better is to provide the tools and the workflows to allow you to help more clients get paid for your services and scale your business, and also avoid the burnout that can sometimes come with running your business. So I did just put the link for the Help Center. We also have our YouTube channel. I'm going to put this in the chat. We have our deep dives out there. We also have plenty of other tutorials, especially around, finance, some of the stuff that Sam just went over. If you're on a paid plan with Practice Better, you can join our Inner Circle Facebook group. So we have lots of Practice Better users, all different practitioner types in there, sharing tips, best practices. So I would encourage you to join that. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, the replay will be sent to you, and the deep dive recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, most likely by tomorrow. So thank you again. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody who joined, and thanks for taking time out of your day and all the great questions that you submitted.
Thanks so much, everyone. I really appreciate you taking the time to join today.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.